Two flagship phones, two powerful cameras. But which one is the better one in 2024? Both claim to deliver professional quality photography in your pocket. But which one actually lives up to the hype? Today we're going head to head to find out. Before we begin this comparison between the two phones, if you want to support this channel, consider subscribing and liking this video. Your support means the world to me. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Let's start with the basics. The Sony Xperia 1VI actually delivers a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and a 12 megapixel telephoto lens which is zoom capable. On paper, this is a really nice setup and a really unique one. And with its software, Sony clearly tries to deliver the Sony Alpha experience on a smartphone. On the other hand, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra has a quad camera setup, with its main camera being a 50 megapixel 1-inch sensor, a wide-angle lens which is another 50 megapixel sensor, a telephoto which is a 70mm equivalent is another 50 megapixel sensor, and a periscope lens which is a x5 zoom, so about 120mm, and it's another 50 megapixel sensor, which is a really nice camera setup. And the fun fact is, all the 4 camera sensors on the Xiaomi phone are made by Sony, which is a nice comparison of two phones with Sony sensors but take a different approach to their photos, and the final product is really different. So starting off with photos themselves. On the Sony 1VI, I was a little bit disappointed. I was expecting more from the creators of the sensors and their cameras that I use on a daily basis. You know, I'm used to my Sony A7 IV and my Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which both use these sensors and capabilities of Sony, so I was expecting this to be much better. In the automatic mode, the Sony feels a little bit lacking in some departments. For example, the color saturation, the details, and dynamic range just isn't as good as I would expect from the Sony's flagship model. Xiaomi, on the other hand, really has amazing photos in its automatic mode, both in the Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant. The colors might be a little bit different, but both really understand the color space really well, make the photos vibrant and just, look good or straight out of the camera, with great contrast, sharpness, and overall look for a camera of this size. And its main camera being a 1-inch sensor really provides photos that just don't look like they were made with a phone. Overall, for me, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra takes photos that just don't feel like it was taken on the phone. It makes it feel like it was taken on a proper camera. And I've seen people think that these photos were not taken with a smartphone. You can definitely see the camera bump is not a small one, so it really packs a punch. And the Xiaomi software is just capable of delivering really nice photos with great dynamic range, great final product, and with the portrait mode, it really feels like it wasn't made in post-production, it wasn't artificial, and it just makes a really natural looking portrait photo. Overall, super surprised how good this phone is in terms of photo, and how capable it is, and how much the software and the Sony sensors work together to make such a great photo experience. It's really amazing to have something so powerful, so good in photos in your pocket. Where the Sony just isn't as good in the automatic mode, it just feels like it falls short. For example, in the portrait mode, the dynamic range really falls apart, and the depth of field effects of the background blur, the bokeh, isn't as good as we would expect. You can definitely feel that it's artificially added in post-production. So I was a little bit surprised that Sony isn't doing so good. And in the telephoto mode with the zoom capable lens, well, the dynamic range, contrast, sharpness, everything was slightly of a lower quality. Once again, I was surprised that I was expecting a little bit more from this phone. The telephoto on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is great. It is very high quality. Really love that the 75mm and 120mm are both really good, so the x3 and x5, and even in digital zoom, once you get over 30 times zoom, the AI is really impressive. So in most case scenarios is really good too. So you have a really nice range from ultra wide angle lens to a really big zoom on this phone, and the photos are consistent throughout all the range. I have to give it to Sony that the wide angle lens is pretty good. Maybe not the best in low light performance, but in just overall photos, it looks really nice, really sharp. It doesn't feel like the low-end wide-angle camera lens on smartphones. But in this comparison, I have to say that both cameras have really good wide-angle lens. Maybe the Xiaomi's is a little better in the low light situations, but overall both of these wide-angle lenses are really, really good. But the manual mode is where everything changes. I feel like the Sony's cameras get better usage out of them if you use in manual. Essentially, you can really make your photos your own. You can set up all the settings to your liking, and you can even shoot in JPEG and RAW, meaning you can edit those photos in post-production on your PC or on the phone. And this is where this phone really shines. While the Xiaomi 14 Ultra also has a Pro mode where you can set up all the different settings, well, the Sony's camera is more focused on delivering the best in the manual mode, where the automatic mode isn't as good. On the other hand, Xiaomi's automatic mode is a really good one, and with the manual mode you have more freedom for your creativity. And you can also take photos in RAW on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So in my opinion, in photo department, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is just a better phone. And because the Sony sensors on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra are the same across all the lenses, except the main one, which is slightly bigger, it just makes all the photos more consistent across all the different lenses. There's not much of a difference. And the Sony experience, in my opinion, isn't as good as the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Also, the collaboration with the Leica really shows how good the color science is on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, both in the authentic and the vibrant modes. It really understands the colors. The Sony, on the other hand, has really good color science too, but because the dynamic range and other things aren't as good as on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, I just feel like on the comparison, I would pick the Xiaomi 14 Ultra as the camera phone of my choice. And also in the low light, both of these cameras perform really well, thanks to the big sensor on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and overall just all the camera sensors here are Sony, and Sony sensors are great for low light capabilities. So one thing is, both of these have incredible macro capabilities. Both are able to do the photos in the telephoto, which is a better way to do the macro photos, but there's a big difference. The Xiaomi can actually do it with the autofocus, which is so easy to use and really easy to take a photo, while the Sony is only in the manual focus. So you're gonna miss a lot of shots, especially if something is moving even slightly. Even though there is a help of the the checkerboard and grids and everything, there is a problem of the manual focus versus the autofocus that is really good on the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. So it's easier to take a good macro photo with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Really cool additional features that both of these cameras have. The Xiaomi 14 Ultra has a variable aperture, meaning you can actually change the opening on the main camera lens. Thanks to this, you can change the way the photo looks, the exposure of it, but also thanks to this, we can have a nice background blur when you open it up all the way. And you can use it for videos if you want to keep that shutter speed a little bit lower. On the Sony, you can actually find a physical shutter button, and better yet, it's a two-step shutter button, meaning that the first click is actually the focus, and when you click down a little bit more, that is when you take the photo or you start the video. I really like it, and it's in really good position right where your fingers actually land on the phone. So it is a really cool hardware feature of the Sony Xperia 1VI. And now let's talk about the video side of the two phones. How do they compare here? Well, both of these phones come with some real power. Sony 1VI can actually record in 4K 120 frames per second across all of the lenses on the smartphone, which is incredible, especially knowing that a lot of companies usually reserve the best quality for the main sensor and then the other ones get a downgraded version, while here you can record in full 4K 120 frames per second on all of them. And in 4K 60 frames per second you can actually change between the lenses, which I just love on a smartphone. And the changing between the lenses while recording is a little bit slower compared to the competition. And also this sound and the interface is identical to the Sony Alpha experience that I'm used to on a daily basis. When recording videos, it sounds exactly the same. And while recording videos, you can record in the STR, so the standard mode, with the BT709 color space, or in the HDR with its hybrid log gamma and BT2020 color space. And you can also record with background blur. Xiaomi, on the other hand, can record in 4K 120 frames per second on the main camera sensor, but it can also record in 4K 60 frames per second on all of the different lenses. And you can change on the go between the lenses from the ultra wide angle to the periscope lens. It's much quicker than on the Sony. Xiaomi has great video capabilities in itself. The color science is great, just like the photos. The Leica collaboration really means that the Colors are really good on the Xiaomi's phone, and it just looks amazing straight from the phone. And also you can record in log format up to 4K 60 frames per second, but that is limited only to the main camera sensor. And this gives you more freedom in color grading in post-production. You can also record in the movie mode with the background blur, and master cinema if you want to use 10-bit colors. Xiaomi takes a different route here. It's focusing more on the ease of use and just ready to go, social media ready kind of photos and videos. With its bright, vibrant colors, solid stabilization in videos, it is just ready right out of the box. Which is great for users that just want great videos that are sharp, good looking and really vibrant without too much tweaking in the settings. But you can shoot in pro mode and control all the settings yourself if you wanted to. While the Sony is more oriented towards those that want to really play around with the manual mode and the manual settings. So it's kind of like a different approach to the same topic. By the way, if you're interested in the music in this video or in any other of my work, check out the links down below for the music that I use in my videos, which is amazing for tech, travel, cinematic videos. If you're interested in that, check out the links down below for the music that I use. So what's the final verdict between the two phones? Just looking at them as the cameras and the video capabilities that they provide. I feel like they both deliver flagship level of quality, but I just feel like they come with a different set of options, a different approach, and a little bit different user experience. In my opinion, Sony has good hardware, but I feel that the software isn't as good. Well, the Xiaomi has both, good hardware and good software. So at the end of the day, it's your decision what you're looking for in your smartphone, which one takes the photos that you like more, and what is something that is more important to you. What features and hardware and software is more important for your usage. If you want something that is amazing straight out of the gate, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is the better pick. If you want something that is a little bit more towards someone that wants to play around with the manual settings, the Xperia 1 Mark VI is definitely a great option too. Especially if you're looking for something that has that Sony Alpha experience in a pocket. But like I said, if you're after vibrant, ready to go, with minimal setup, but also with great manual settings, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra is the one for you. I personally prefer the Xiaomi 14 Ultra in pretty much all the modes, but that is going to be the decision you have to make yourself. Which one you prefer? Let me know in the comment section down below which one you prefer. With that being said, that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.